We're going to start off today finishing up a bass part, and then we'll go ahead and work on a melody. The composition is in 6/8 time, so the pulse and the rhythm will be a little different, but the procedure is still the same. I'm going to go ahead and copy paste this kick drum down to my bass track. Shorten it up there, and what I'll do is I'll use my notepad to figure out the notes for this. First of all, I'm going to listen and see if the octave is going to work for this sound that I'm using on the bass. Okay, it's a little bit low, so Command 4 opens up the piano roll. And I'm going to go ahead and say Command A to select all, and I'm going to drag this up to B flat, which is the first chord in the notepad. Okay, if you're listening to the bass, you'll notice that the bass stayed the same even when the chord changed on measure 2, or which is measure 10 in this case. Here we go. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our bass agrees with our harmony, and we're going to make sure that each of these notes is going to be playing the roots of the chords. Later, if you want to change it up a little bit, add some passing tones, that's fine, but right now we're going to stick to a very simple procedure to making sure that your bass agrees with your harmony. So the second chord is a C chord right here in the notepad. So I'm going to move this up to C. All right, I'm going to save that. Now, I might want to change the rhythm and feel a little bit because, I don't know, I like to have some long notes on the bass. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this note and make these first bass notes hit a little longer and add in a little tiny pickup, whoa, right there. These are just ideas. You don't have to copy this. This is just my experimentation. Ooh, that one didn't work. Let me try it this way. 1 and 2. How about that? And I'll make this note longer. Like that. All right, that's close. It's not great, perfect, but it's good enough for now. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and option drag this over to the next spot. Because I already have the rhythm right, I just need to now change the notes. And the next two chords, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, we're up to the third measure in section B, which is a D minor, and then the fourth measure will be a B flat. So let's go ahead and grab this and go up to the E diminished, and then we got the D minor. All right, you know, you can try different octaves. If you don't want it to go that high, you can go like that and play that E. But no, I'm going back here. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this and copy paste it over. It doesn't matter which one you copy paste over because they all have the same rhythms. We're just trying to get the notes right. We're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth measure in section B, and that's a B flat, and then a B flat A. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, looks like I'm missing a measure. There should be 8 measures here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to take a little detour and go back to the harmony and see what I'm missing here. Oh, I remember. I played different chords the first time and second time. That's what happened. So what I need to do is write in some more bars. I have to write in all 8 bars. D minor, C, and then instead of the E diminished D minor, that's where the B flats, so that I should have 8 bars now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4. B flat, da dun dun, D minor, da dun dun. Just take out the C. That's probably it. B flat, C, E diminished, D minor, B flat, C. It starts the same. There we go. Okay, always click done. Go back down to B flat and C. Let's see if this works. All right, and one more. And we'll have our basic bass part. The last 2 chords are B flat A. Notice how quickly the B flat A goes in that one measure, and then a whole measure of A7. So the rhythm might change here. Let me move this over. So it's B flat, A, B flat A, A7. This time we're going to put the right there, B flat to A. Maybe one long A. I don't know if I like the sound of the bass there, but anyway, once you get your regions, if you want to, you could select them like this, just dragging the mouse, starting on a place that's not a region, and dragging them, and then J, and then it's all one nice little region. And you want to also make sure it's name regions by tracks. So it's called bass. It matches the name of the track. So there you go, that's the bass. Now let's go ahead and create a melody. So we need a new track, a new software instrument track. I'm going to label this melody. If you want to, you can put melody and then the sound, like melody slash violin or whatever. I don't even know what sound I'm going to choose yet, so I'll probably have to rename that. But go up to instrument over here and maybe some horns. Oh, don't like that. I don't want to waste your time with this. Let me hurry up and get something. I might have to go into the retro synth thing here and come up with my own sound. You'll be doing that next week, week 3. Okay, so this is a demonstration about how to do something, not so much about getting the perfect sound. So we're just going to go ahead with that sound, and what we need to do is come up with a melody for section A that's different than the melody for section B. Section A's melody has to have its own hook, and section B has to have its own hook. So we're going to start with just the loop on section A only, so we don't blur over. And we're going to play the G minor scale. Oh, sorry, we're in D minor. D minor. If you're in D minor, it's kind of an easy key because all you have to worry about is one accidental, and that's the B flat. So it's all white notes on the keyboard except for one accidental, which is the B flat right before the C, that black key. So what I suggest is you get your hand on the keyboard, and if you're not able to play the whole scale, just play like 3 or 4 notes of it. At least maybe 5. And then we'll just play along, get your fingers comfortable. Remember, we're not playing chords. None of that stuff. We're just going to stick to one note at a time. And what we're trying to do is come up with a motif. A motif is a group of notes that you can repeat again. So you'll play this group of notes one note at a time, and then you'll repeat it after a couple bars go by. Okay, that's going to be my motive, so I'm ready to record, and I'm going to play it twice in the 8 bars. So I'll play the motive once, and then I'll play it again. And I'll try to make it a little different the second time. Now, I'm doing this by ear, so it may be a little easier for me, but we'll go back later and check the notes against the chords to make sure the harmony is in line. All right, here we go. I'm pressing R. I'm starting over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, it's, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and check it now for any kind of mistakes or any quantizing or maybe some wrong notes, all right, that don't belong with that chord. Now the chords are B flat, C, E diminished, and D minor. So pretty much if you stay in the scale, you'll be diatonic, so you'll cover that. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's okay. Here's another way to take this approach, okay, if you're not going to play by ear, okay? Here's another whole way, different way to do it. We can think about the chord. Let's just do 2 measures. And we know it's going to be B flat. Oh no, I'm sorry, D minor. D minor, G minor. So if I really want to be easy, I would play like a D minor triad for the first 2 chords. Okay, the D minor chord sounded okay. The G minor chord arpeggio, it didn't sound as good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stick with the D minor, and then I'll make sure I end on a G note by the time I get to measure 2. That way I'm definitely agreeing with the harmony chord at that point, which is G minor. Oh, I tried to go on to the next part, but it wasn't. But it was looped. Okay. Let's see. One, two. You know, D minor, D minor. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I know what's happening. This is going by awfully fast. D minor, G minor, E diminished, D minor. So would be the roots. D minor, G, E minor. Now granted, you don't have to, machine-like play every melody note to match the, see, that's the problem with writing a melody and not having an ear yet to hear the chords, because you're going to try to do it mechanically and it gets kind of square sounding and robotic sounding. But that would be another way to approach the melody if you're really having trouble, and that's just to play the roots. But you have all these other choices. You got DFA, G, B flat, D, you've got every 3 notes of the chords. So I'm going to suggest, if the chords are going by quickly, that you stick to just a basic something like that, something simple that's going to be in the scale diatonically. And then if you're, let me try to do it wrong, and then I'll come back and edit it. That's a, hold on a minute. Okay, so I'm going to play some melody notes that don't go with the chords now. And they'll be diatonic, they'll be in the key, but they just won't really match the chords that well, because I'm not playing those notes or something, okay? All right. Let's see. Let me try this again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Well, all right. So let's figure out this looped, so it's a little harder to deal with. Let me go ahead and record it again without having a loop on it. All right, so this melody is not really that good. So what we could do is, instead of recording it over and over and over till we're blue in the face, we can just say, okay, let me just figure out the notes that are not good and keep the ones that are good. That first note is an E note, and it clashes with the D minor chord, which is DFA. So I have a choice. I can either go up to the F note, which is part of the D minor triad, or down to the D. So what I'm going to do is both. I'll put the D first, and I'll put the F. And I'll move this over here. Now by the time we get to this second beat, which is in 6/8, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the second beat is on number 4. So by the time we get to that second beat, we're really on a G minor chord, which would be the G note. But G minor 7 has an F in it, so it's not bad. You can use extensions. That is the 7ths, 9ths, and 11ths of the chords for your melody. They sound very nice. Okay, right here, this E note doesn't sound good again. By the time we get to bar 2, we're at an E diminished, which is E, G, B flat. Oh, that should work. Let me move it over here. Yeah, that works. I don't know what I was thinking. Da, da, da. 1, 2, 3. 1. It goes. We're already at D again by the time we get to the second beat of the second measure. So I'm going to try to do something like this. Okay, so that's a little simple melody. It's not very exciting, but it works with the song. Now we're going to go ahead to the next 2 bars. Okay, starting on bar 3, let's see. We got a D minor and a G minor, and again, well, the D should work. Let's ascend. Let's go up. Melodies need to have some curves up and down. So let me go higher, up to, let's see, how about an A note? Because an A note is part of the D minor chord. And let's get to it kind of quickly too. So I'm playing the triad note D, F, A. Get this back, quantize it on the grid so it starts at the right spot. Yeah. And then what's left? We've got the D minor chord and then a G minor. So we need something to do with the G minor for this part. And we've got an E note. That's going to clash a little, even though it's diatonic. There is a chord called G minor 6 that has an E note in it. So technically you can get away with it, but I don't think this composition is calling for that chord here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it to the closest note, which would either be an F to make it a G minor 7 or a G or a D. Let's go with the F. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, that works. Now these 2 notes definitely don't work. Okay, we got a B. That's not even in the key. There's no B in the key of D minor. It's only supposed to be a B flat. So let's go ahead and change that right away. All right, it's better. Let's look at our bar 4 and see what chords we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a E half diminished 7 and then a D minor. Okay. Don't worry about the half diminished 7. I mean, I could tell you what it is. It's a minor third, a minor third, and a major third. That's how you build a half diminished 7. I just put it in there because I like the way it sounds. We do allow you a little bit of leeway on the chords as long as you've got, and it is E diminished is in the key, so it's not like I left the key there. I just added a 7th is all. All right. So we should end on a D, an F, or an A. Let's see. Let's try that. I don't like that. Let's try to go down. Oh, that's okay. Let me see what else we got. Now that G does not agree with the D minor chord. It agrees with the G minor chord. If I would have had a G minor chord here, this would have been great, but I have a D minor. So let's go to A. At least A's in the chord. There we go. Let's keep that one. I'm going to go ahead and Command save that. Now, this whole 1, 2, 3, 4 bars is going to happen again. So you have a choice. You can drag it, you know, you can, let me get out of this volume thing, display off, here we go. If you loop it, that would suffice. It's not probably the best thing to do because you don't want to just copy stamp your motives exactly. You want to change something in them. But here's what it would sound like anyway. Okay, so that's one way to go. The other way to go would be to copy paste this over and change something on the second run of it. Oops, oops, don't need 3 of them. All right, so I wish I had a class right now. I could ask somebody what to change. That'd be fun. Oh, let me get this loop over here. Here we go. tell you what, I'm going to erase this part and I'll keep these notes. Now, if I'm going to do a MIDI merge, that is, I'm going to record onto this region and not lose what's here, I have to go in and make sure that my project settings will allow for that. So I go under project settings, recording, and it says here MIDI, no cycle overlap. We want MIDI merge. I believe that's the correct setting. Let's see if that works. I've saved the session in case I need to come back to it. So the idea is that I can record on top of that and still add to it and not lose what I have. This is a practice run. Okay, that D note goes with the first bar. The other part, I need to make sure I'm hitting on an E diminished and a D minor. Let's see. So the E diminished chord is E. So that includes a G and a B flat. So yeah, that'll work. I went down to the A after, and that's totally doable. It's a very common way to use a melody in a minor key is to go from the flat sixth note of the scale to the regular fifth note of the scale. You always want to milk those half steps. That's what's really the beauty. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, great. It took it. The MIDI region merged perfectly, and now I've got two motives. But the second time the motive was altered, so that I mean, that's the whole point of the motive. You don't want to machine like produce the motive over and over and over and over. You want to change something. Oh, I want to change two things. Let me get that over here. Right here, it was a little bit offbeat. I'm gonna quantize that, see if that helps. Quantize that too. Okay, so I gave a little alternate ending, and now we're going to get into our section B. And here's the chords below for section B. Notice the different change immediately. It's a unique section, the beat is different, and the chords are different. And even the strumming of the piano chords are different. Okay, so if I'm going to go ahead and play roots, I'll just keep my eye on this notepad and play the notes as they come. All right, so you wouldn't really want to do that's more like a bass part than a melody. But it's good to get your grips on what's going on. It may be a little difficult to play triads and think of all the notes that are involved with each of these measures. So the first try, just go ahead and play something in the scale and don't even think about the chords, just review the scale. Start playing with your fingers, get some ideas, and then let's not record yet. Let's just go ahead and play along. So, you know, I've never done this before, this particular melody and this particular chord progression. This is the first time I'm trying this, and it's just like when you start. It's the first time you're trying it. You're going to hit all kinds of bad notes. Don't even worry about it. But just keep looping it. It might take you a good 15 minutes, you know, maybe half hour to find something that you like. So again, you can go ahead and play it, record something, and then go back later and edit the notes that don't sound right. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, I hear a few things. I hear a couple of rhythmic, you know, a little bit off here and there. And I hear maybe a couple bad notes, but basically I kept it safe and I played around the D minor chord the most. I mean, it is the key of D minor. So if you're stressed out about all these different chords, just play around the tonic chord the most. And that'll give you a shortcut because the D minor chord is D, F, A, right? So I just mainly played D, F, and A's the whole darn time. And I threw in a few other notes and it kind of worked. So let's go ahead and check it out chord by chord now and see what we got. The first chord in section B is a B flat, which is relative to D minor. B flat and D minor are almost the same. D minor is D, F, A. And B flat is B flat, D, F. So two of the three notes match. So we're already safe with the B flat chord if we play D minor notes. Okay, that first note didn't come in because it's a little early, so I'm quantizing that. I'm going to quantize this part. Let's see. This note came in a little too early. I'm gonna put it. It could come in. It's okay if it comes in a little. It's a melody, you know. You got to give the melody musician freedom to express themselves. They don't have to be machine-like on time. Your melody does not have to be quantized to the grid. But you know, there's certain spots where I want it to be quantized, and there's certain other spots where I don't, and that's just a matter of feel. I might want to like that. So I really like that first motive. I'm going to keep that and copy paste it over later. This note's too long. Let's shorten that. And I might want to do a glissando. It's like when you put a little note like that. Let's see if that worked. Okay, so yeah, that little note there is just a way to give the expression to the note I'm trying to get, which is the next note. It's not really an important note that you would be graded on. It's just something there to help the sound of the expression. All right, so now it gets a little, I'm getting tired of this one note. I keep playing this one note over and over. I'm not sure if I want to keep all these other notes here. Well, let's see what's happening with the chord changes. All right. Make sure my phone's on mute. So the chord change for bar 12. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12 is a D minor. And I'm playing I'm playing D minor notes. Now, here's an idea. If you're playing a D minor chord, which is, and then you play the notes, and you're getting sick of hearing those notes over and over, figure out what the 7th or the 9th is of the D minor chord. That's a 7th is a C, and the 9th is a E. And change a couple of your notes to match that. Let's just try putting all these to E's, see how that sounds, because E is the 9th of the D minor chord. I like it. I mean, it's definitely more interesting than hearing a bunch of DFs for forever, you know? So I gave it a little color with a 9th. And you don't have to know this theory. This is a little advanced, but I'm just giving you ideas, and some of you will grab it. I think this note should be short here. All right, good. So we're back to the halfway point of section B. And I told you before I was going to copy paste my motif from the beginning of section B, which is this part. I'm going to say Command C, and then I'm going to come over here to bar 13, which is the halfway point, put the cursor there, and then say Command V. Oops. Let me undo that and get rid of some more notes first. All right, here we go. Command V. All right. Cool, we're almost done. We're up to the last 2 measures of section B. And I hope that you are starting to understand motives better by watching me do this. Once you get a group of notes, it's called a motif, that you like, then you can copy paste that to another part as long as it's the same chords, right? And then you can either change a note or two or not. And I decided the part that I copy pasted over on bar 13, I'm going to leave exactly as it is, because I'm going to get something new to do anyway on bar 15. The last 2 chords are new. Oops, I didn't want that. There we go. Get rid of this. What I have is okay. It's not like, you know, it's kind of lame rhythmically, but I think the notes are close. What it is a B flat, A, A. So let's go back here. B flat. I'm playing G notes. Why don't I change these G to B flat notes? See if that works. Well, let me back up so I have something to hear before I get to that part. No. Let's see, maybe. The second note is an A, so it's B flat, just like right now. Excuse the dog barking, hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so we're figuring out our last 2 measures. So the B flat to A works okay. But I want to make this B flat a little longer. And move this over. The last chord is A7, so we have a choice of A, C sharp, E, or G. if I put a G there, let's put the A here, see how this sounds, and bring this down to an E note, so at least we'll be agreeing with the chord A. My beats are a little off, but I'm getting there. Let's try it this way. Okay, so the choice would be either ending on an A note, which is the A chord, or the 7th. I kind of like the 7th, but we could listen to it with the A note, see how that sounds. They both work. We could try C sharp. It's good, but it's a little tacky for me. I'm gonna go back to the G note. Now, I want to say one more thing before I close up here. This A7 chord is a borrowed chord, and that isn't covered until week 3. So don't be concerned with yourself about that, because in the key of D minor, there is no C sharp. It's only C's, and the real chord that goes with the key of D minor is A minor, not A major or A dominant 7th. But I'm borrowing that chord from the parallel major key, and that'll be covered possibly next week or in a future course. All right, thanks a lot. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something. All right, take care.